Sheikh Mishary Bin Rashid Alafasy, champion of Quran recitation worldwide. Undoubtedly, you may have witnessed or heard about many Quran recitation competitions and seen how people possess extraordinary talents. If you say that there has not been a reader of the Quran with a higher capability in recent years surpassing Sheikh Mishary bin Rashid Alafasy, you would not be wrong. Let's listen to him.
قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَٰهِ النَّاسِ مِن شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ.
He is a native of Kuwait City, Kuwait, who will turn 48 years old on September 5th, the Asrs of this year, born on September 5th, the Asr, 1976. Sheikh Alafasy began reciting the Quran in the early 1990s, and since then his ability has been increasing day by day, making him a threat in the world of Quran recitation and memorization, while also serving as an Imam. Sheikh Alafasy is recognized as a Qari or Quran reciter, an Imam, a preacher of Islam, and currently the most famous nasheed artist in the world. He received his education at the Islamic University of Medina in the Department of Quran, specializing in reciting the Quran in 10 different ways, qira'at, and interpretation, tafsir. Sheikh Alafasy has released numerous albums of nasheeds that have gained widespread popularity worldwide. He typically recites them in Arabic, but has also sung nasheeds in English and French. On October 25, 2008, Sheikh Alafasy was awarded the first Arab Creativity Oscar from the Arab Creativity Union in Egypt. The event was overseen by the Secretary General of the Arab League, Amr Musa, as a recognition of Sheikh Alafasy's role in promoting Islamic principles and teachings. Furthermore, Sheikh Alafasy is also the Imam of the Grand Mosque of Kuwait, called Masjid al-Kabir, where he leads the Taraweeh prayers during the holy month of Ramadan every year. He works for the Kuwait Ministry of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs. His life history shows that he began memorizing the Quran in 1992, and by 1994, he had memorized the entire Quran, earning him a place in the list of Hafiz al-Quran, meaning someone who has memorized the entire Quran. He also holds various certificates from many Quran scholars. He has an Jaza in the Qira'at of Asim ibn Abi al-Najud from Sheikh Abdul Rafi bin Radwan al-Sharqawi, among others. Sheikh Alafasy frequently appears on television and radio worldwide, and his Quran recitations are also available on his YouTube channel, his social media accounts, and thousands of other platforms established by his fans. In his personal life, Sheikh Alafasy is a husband and father of 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. He is also known as Abu Rashid, father of Rashid. Another thing that has brought him great fame is his nasheed albums. These are types of Islamic songs that do not use any musical instruments other than the voice of the performer alone. Sheikh Alafasy is a master of nasheeds, singing in Arabic, English, and French using his voice alone without any other musical instruments, adhering to Islamic principles. Sheikh Alafasy has several awards that recognize him worldwide. In 1998, he was awarded the first Arab Creativity Oscar by the Arab Creativity Union in Egypt, overseen by the Secretary General of the Arab League. He was recognized for his role in promoting Islamic principles and teachings worldwide through his preaching and nasheeds, using modern technology. Sheikh Alafasy was voted by readers as the best Quran reciter in the About.com Reader's Choice Awards for 2012.
الإمام يعني
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم